Peace and blessings, everybody. Anjane here, and this is your daily deposit of peace. As you can tell, my background is a little bit different. I decided to bring you guys along with me to the yoga studio today. This is one of the studios that I teach at. I will say this is different for me because I usually don't make yoga content. I normally don't record my sequences. I'm all about in the moment, so I normally teach them. Today's daily deposit of peace will be a 10 to 15 minute vinyasa style warm-up sequence just to kind of get your energy going to start your day. It's Tuesday, a very high impactful energy day, so why not have a daily deposit of peace to be a great start to it? So grab something comfy, grab your mat, blanket, whatever you use, whatever calls to you, get your smudge, and I'll meet you on the mat. Let's dive right in. We will start today's sequence in easy pose or sukhasana. You can do full lotus, half lotus, whatever comfortable seat calls to you. To start off with a little warm up, something to kind of get your gears turning. We're going to start by closing down our eyes, placing your hands on top of your knees, and we'll just start with a couple of cleansing breaths. We'll do it 3 times. So we'll take an inhale and outer mouth exhale. 2 more, inhale. And outer mouth exhale. And last one, I want to use Ujjayi breath. So we'll inhale and exhale, restricting the breath inside of your body. So just to kind of bring our awareness to this present moment. For the duration of this class, you may hear me using Ujjayi breath. It's just a hot breath that you restrict or keep inside of your body. So it's basically going, but locking it inside of yourself. Inhale together as arms rise. Exhale, placing your left hand on the outside of your left glute. Right hand comes on the outside of this left thigh and twist. Inhale as arms rise once more. Exhale, doing the same thing on the opposite side. Right hand goes outside of right glute, left hand outside of right thigh, and twist. Coming up out of that, inhale as arms rise. Exhale, bringing your arms in front of you. As you can see, I'm scooting back. You might want to scoot your sacrum to the back of your mat. So to give yourself some length, pushing your legs in front of you, just a smidge, not too much. Inhale as arms rise. Exhale, forward folding directly in front of you to wherever you can reach, placing your hands on the ground, on your mat, wherever's comfortable. Just breathing here, trying not to have your shoulders up by your ears, but allowing them to melt down closer to the floor. We're gonna come up onto our fingertips, so basically spider hands onto the floor. You're gonna walk your hands to the left side, inhaling here, exhaling to fold deeper. Coming up onto those fingertips once more, walking our hands now to the right side, always trying to balance our bodies. Inhale here, exhale, folding deeper. Coming up onto those fingertips again, walking your hands forward. This time really reaching through those fingertips so you feel it all the way in your shoulder blades, and using those hands to walk your body back upright, meeting back in a neutral position. Moving your body around, doing whatever feels good intuitively. For me, I always start with some shoulder rolls, just allowing yourself to be present. I'm always about aiding in the balance in your body, so always remembering to go counterclockwise. Perfect. We're going to work our way up. Now going up to your neck, just engaging in some neck rotations. Listening for the clicks and ticks of your body. Going as passive and as slow as possible. And once you find your head slowly drape back at the top of your spine, going in the opposite direction. Creating balance in our life sometimes doesn't have to be as difficult as we make it. Sometimes it's just as simple as doing something in a balanced manner. If you do something on one side, always doing it on the other, that naturally creates balance and a circadian rhythm in your body and in your practice. Alrighty, if you're done with your warm-up portion, now we will move on to a tabletop position, so coming up onto all fours. And in this tabletop position, you're gonna always wanna make sure you're in the right alignment. Feet are tucked directly onto your mat. You want your wrist in line with your shoulders, and just making sure you roll your shoulders back and down your spine, pushing your mat away from you. So you should have perfect alignment almost. You don't wanna be rounding or hunched. You just wanna let your back and your spine fall naturally wherever they do. Shoulders are rolled back and down, shifting your gaze or drishti up towards the ceiling or wherever is up for you. Inhaling here. Exhale, rounding your spine one vertebrae at a time, and you'll notice you'll start to feel more pressure going into your fingertips, pushing your mat further away from you. Breathing in this cat pose. Inhale, slowly starting to round those shoulders, shifting that gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling, creating that arch in the small of your back, coming into cow pose. Couple more. Exhale, rounding that spine, pushing your mat further away from you, scooping in your sacrum, scooping in your glutes, pulling up that Uddiyana Bandha, scooping in your belly. A lot of simultaneous actions going on here. Inhale, rounding that spine, coming up, gaze shifted forward. Last one, exhale, rounding that spine, pushing the mat further away from you. A gentle sway, never hurt nobody. Coming up, returning back to a neutral position, into a neutral tabletop. We're going to slowly walk your hands up to the top of your mat, sinking your chest down to your mat, meeting in Anahastasana or puppy dog pose or melting heart pose. Placing your forehead or your third eye chakra onto your mat. Hands are directly in front of you. If you want to add more extension or feel it more into here of your arms, your triceps, creating a bend in your elbows, placing your hands directly at the top of your spine into Anjali Mudra or prayer hands. Coming up out of that, resting your arms back down onto your mat. Slowly peeling your body off of it, meeting back in a neutral tabletop. Everything that we do with today's class will kind of be lower body focused. So we're going to move on into our balancing table. You're going to roll those shoulders back and down your spine as if you're about to activate your cat-cow notion. And you're going to place all of your pressure into your right side body, and we're going to take that moment to extend our left foot just directly out to the edge of our mat. And start doing some leg pulses. Ooh, hamstrings are tight. This is a perfect pose to do if you've been sitting a lot. This is a really great way to stretch out those muscles without having to overwork them. So just slowly pulsing up and back, forward and back, working on those calves, ankle mobility, your hamstrings. Again, a lot of simultaneous actions. I want you to completely take your foot, planting it on the mat, pushing as much as you can through that heel, feeling the burn. Coming back forward, we're going to again put our pressure into our right side body, slowly beginning to peel that left leg off of your mat, preparing for our balancing tiger or balancing table. Slowly peeling that left hand off of the mat, extending your left arm out, left foot out, and holding here. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, bringing your knee and your elbow together, crunching it in. And Exhale, extend back out. Inhale to crunch. Exhale, extend. Inhale to crunch. Exhale, extend. And release back down. Repeating the same thing on the opposite side. Shake it out if you need to. Right leg extends to the outer edge of your mat, starting those leg pulses. Once you feel you've stretched out the back of that right side body good enough, completely placing your tiptoes onto the floor, pushing all the way through your heel, feeling the burn, feeling the stretch, leaning back forward, extending that right leg up. Trying not to make it to where you're spanning your leg outward, but keeping your alignment straight. You're just literally extending that leg behind you. Putting all of your pressure into your left side body, slowly peeling that right arm off the mat, extending that out right. Holding here. And on your next inhale, you're bringing your knee to your elbow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. Winding it back down. Extending your knees to the outer edge of your mat, bringing your big toes to touch, sending those hips to your feet, and resting here in a child's pose, extending your arms out in front of you and just surrendering for a moment. Coming up out of that child's pose, closing down your knees, meeting back in our tabletop position. We're going to put our pressure onto our right side body, extending that leg out once more. This time threading it through in between both hands, coming into a pigeon. You're going to sit onto that left glute, extending your right foot completely behind you, right leg back. And we're going to start this pigeon just sitting upright, gentle back bend right here in the small of your back. Inhale, lengthening your spine, creating more of a back bend. Maybe even this time you want to try and drape your head back. Exhaling here and allowing yourself to fold back deeper. Coming into traditional pigeon, folding over the right side of your leg. Coming up out of that pigeon, placing your hands on opposite side of that left leg, framing that left foot. We're going to come up just slightly, placing your left hand on the inside of this left knee, creating a slight bend in this right leg, and just seeing if you can pull your right leg closer towards you. Sometimes it's just enough to stretch it, so pulling that right foot forward and back. If you have it within your practice, now would be a good time to do seated dancer, wrapping your hand completely around that right leg, inhaling left arm up, maybe grabbing onto this right hand as well. And if this is not in your practice, sometimes it's just as good just stretching it out. Remember, this is a sequence / class to kind of get us started for our day. No need to have no serious sweat broken, just getting these muscles lubricated, moving, feeling good and alive on this beautiful Tuesday. Releasing that right foot, framing your left leg, untucking this right heel. We're going to meet in a plank position, so extending your left foot to meet your right. Inhale to lower down to chaturanga. Coming up for up dog. Bringing your knees to your mat and meeting back in our tabletop position. Preparing to do the same thing on the opposite side. We're going to extend that right foot back, just taking a moment. Threading it through in between both hands, extending that left leg behind us, sitting on to this right glute. Extending that left leg back for pigeon. Taking an inhale here, rolling your shoulders back and down your spine and just creating a gentle back bend, allowing your head to rest behind you. Coming up slightly, taking your exhale here. And then forward folding over the left side of your leg, coming down into traditional pigeon. Taking a moment of rest and relaxation here. Whenever you're ready, coming up slightly so we can repeat the same thing on this side. So creating a micro bend in this left knee and just taking this moment to grab onto your left leg and just pulling it in and letting it go, pulling it closer and extending it back just to help create some mobility in this left side body. Actually, I'm going to turn around just so you guys can see what I'm doing. So bend in your right leg. There's no need for you to move. I'm just moving so it's easier for you guys to see me. So creating that micro bend in your left leg, like I said, and you want to place your right hand on top of that right thigh and just begin pulling and releasing this left leg. Again, just creating some mobility for the next step we're about to extend into. Extending out one more time. And on your next pull in, you're going to wrap your arm around that left leg, placing your left hand directly in front of you and pausing here. You might start to feel it here on the left side of your body. You might start to feel it on the top of your left thigh. This is a very great stretch for your legs. And if you would like to take it a step further, finding your inhale, extending that right arm up for seated dancer or nataraj. You can extend it over. You can bring both hands together, whichever variation speaks to you. Releasing that left leg, shifting your hips forward, framing that foot or framing that thigh. We're going to come up off of that right glute, untuck that left foot, sending your right to meet your left and taking vinyasa once more. Rolling forward, coming into plank. Exhale down chaturanga. Inhale up dog. Exhale, bringing your thighs to your mat, meeting back in this tabletop position. We're going to cross at our ankles, sending our hips back, extending our legs out in front of us. Once your legs are extended out in front of you, inhaling as your arms rise. Exhale, forward folding over both legs. You don't want to hunch, you just want to fold with a straight spine, hinging at your hips, leaning forward, coming into Paschimottanasana. Feel free to lay your hands onto your mat, on your shins, grabbing onto ankles, or grabbing onto the soles of your feet. Taking your time, a gentle sway is always acceptable. Coming up slightly, using your hands to pull your body upright. We're going to meet back into the center of our mat, into our seated posture like we were before. Feel free to try Sukhasana, which is easy pose, or you can do full lotus or half lotus like I've demonstrated here. I'm going to end with another warm-up piece, just as we started. Inhaling as arms rise. On the exhale, grabbing onto your left wrist with your right hand, leaning to the left. Exhale. Inhale, upright. Exhale, opposite side. Right wrist with left hand, leaning to the right. Inhale, upright. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, extend. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, extend. Exhale, cactus. One more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, cactus. Keeping your eyes closed down, you're going to take your left hand, placing it on your solar plexus. Right hand goes onto your heart chakra, rolling those shoulders back and down. Take an inhale here. And outer mouth exhale. Taking a moment to yourself, finishing whatever thought you've been playing, taking a moment to ground your energy into your body. Our hands are portals and they contain a lot of energy. So we're closing down that energy of our solar plexus, we're closing down that energy of our heart chakra, and we're just grounding all of the beautiful, wonderful yoga goodness we just received from this quick warm-up, placing it back into our bodies. So just taking a moment, allowing the heat from your hands to charge you up. Feel free to release your hands to your knees, start in a Savasana, or continue on with the rest of the sequence. This was just a warm-up piece. I'm gonna grab my smudge so we can end today's practice. Always balancing my body. Today's smudge is going to be Palo Santo. It's one of my favorite smudges. It's the way that I love to close out my classes. Just taking a moment. Some for me and some for you. And this concludes today's daily deposit of peace. Thank you guys for flowing alongside me. I hope today's sequence was beginner friendly enough. A daily deposit of peace can be in any way, shape, or form that resonates with you. This is just one of the many ways that resonates with me. Giving time to myself, giving time to my temple, my body, and my practice. You know, I want these daily deposits of peace to reflect the many different ways that I pour into my peace, and I hope that it inspires you to pour into yours. I actually kind of like doing this. This was definitely new for me. I look forward to recording more. If you want to keep going with your sequence, feel free to move on into your standing sequence and continue on your practice. Sending you guys peace, love, and blessings always. Later.